YouTube, Chogokin Shinobi here with a review of the Super Sentai Artisan Chogokin Otomonin Shinobimaru from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. So, for those of you that don't know, Super Sentai Artisan is kind of like a complete selection sort of thing for the Sentai series. While they haven't actually done any changes or anything like that, which is a shame because it'd be pretty cool, they have done a lot of mecha. It started with the tracks from the Rainbow line from ToQger. Then they moved along to the Chogokin ToQ-Oh, as well as the, well, I don't think it was actually Chogokin anywhere on it, but they did the Curliner, the Cryner, according to the box, from the Shadow line, which was really cool. I unfortunately never got a chance to review those. I do have them, so it's a possibility I will take a look at them in the future, but I didn't get to review them before Ninninger started, and I just kind of gave up. But we can take a look at this guy. This is Shinobimaru in a nice poseable figure format, which is pretty neat since the other one is just a little brick. So Chogokin logo down there, Shinobimaru. It's a really nice little box. It's got a nice little design to it. But yeah, so this was released way back in July of 2015, so it's been quite a while. But it cost about 5,400 yen or so, give or take, before middleman fees and such like that. So not the cheapest thing in the world, but not horribly expensive either. But actually, I guess it is kind of horribly expensive. But no, let's take a look at this thing and see if it's worth it. Alright, so here is Shinobimaru, and he's actually pretty neat. He is relatively small. He's about a 4-inch, 5-inch figure scale, give or take, real quick. Here he is next to a standard soda can, so he's pretty much the exact same height as that. And here he is next to the deluxe Shinobimaru, so he's the same height because he is meant to actually function with Shurikenjin and all the other robots from Ninninger, so he can sit in the seat, so naturally he's going to be about the same height as the original. So moving him along, we'll do a couple more comparisons shortly. But here is the figure itself. And it's got a nice little kind of mold to it, or sculpt, or whatever you want to say. I love the articulation. The articulation is pretty top-notch. It's not figure arts level of articulation, but it's a little bit better than the standard rider gimmick figure. So it's kind of somewhere in between there. And it works a lot. If you like Shinobimaru's design, then this is kind of a must-have, in my humble opinion. I really dig Shinobimaru. I think he's great. Probably one of my favorite core designs from Ninninger. And so having a posable figure of him is actually really cool, and I dig a lot that they did that. The only thing I really call out is the hands. He has the kind of double-segmented grippy hands that the rider gimmick figures tend to have. Not a huge fan of that style of hand, but it's okay for Shinobimaru. It is what it is. He is capable, actually, of holding the Karakuri Hengen. I hope I said that right. I don't remember much of anything from the weapon series other than the Gamagama-ju. But I totally did that backwards. No, I didn't. I did that right. So he can hold that. Why, you may ask, if you watch the movie. He actually has a giant Karakuri Hengen in it for whatever reason. I don't know why they did that. But there is that. So you can hold those weapons from the Nin in Action series of figures. So there you go. Articulation-wise, you're looking at full rotation on the head. It is on a ball joint, but it is heavily limited by the sculpt. So there's that. There's no real way to raise it a little bit. I guess you can raise it a tiny bit. But yeah, so there's that. Just a swivel system up here on the shoulders. A single joint. Yep, that's a that's a single joint right there at the elbow. Rotation at the wrist. Kind of a swivel system down here. Swivel at the thigh. Single joint at the knee. And this is just a ball and socket joint down here. And then these little things move up and down. Down for when he's Shinobimaru, and then kind of up a little bit for when he's trying to sit in the seat. So you have that, and that's all there is to this guy. On the back here, you have these little fold-out things. Those are the clips. Since if you see the clips right here on the back of Deluxe Shinobimaru, those will clip into the kind of belly of Shurikenjin to hold him in place. So there's that. No, there's snap. There's snap. That's like snarf. But one thing you do want to point out with this figure is that there is no way to convert him into the arm mode, which I am perfectly okay with. I don't need some fancy poseable Shinobimaru arm for my Shurikenjin, so I am perfectly okay with just keeping this guy around to act as the arm. In fact, he's probably just going to sit in Shurikenjin on my display because this guy deserves to be just displayed on his own in a cool pose. As for the Chogokin of this, there isn't a whole lot, and you know that's okay. Everyone complains about the lack of diecast in some Chogokin releases, and I understand Chogokin basically means diecast, but you don't need a whole lot of diecast in order for a figure to work well. This might be diecast. I don't think this is. I think this is just chrome plastic. But in terms of the diecast, this the entire leg portion right here is diecast metal, and it gives heft to the figure, allows him to stand very well. About the only other thing, if this is not diecast, that's about the only other thing I could think of that would warrant being diecast, just because it is already chrome. So there's that. So you can get a ton of cool poses with this guy. He balances very, very well, and I dig him a lot. I really do actually like this quite a bit. One other thing he does come with, the only accessory he comes with, is this little tiny piece right here, and that will clip into his shoulder, and that is supposed to be Aka Ninger, just kind of leaning down with the Ichibanto stuck in him, which is how they pilot the Otomonins in this show. So to get that out, you just kind of get your nail in there, and that piece will slide right out, and then you slide this piece right in, if I can line it up properly, and not be a derp. That will slide right in there, and now you have Aka Ninger piloting Shinobimaru, which is a nice little touch since they do that in the show. They don't actually have cockpits for the Otomonin. So that's a wonderful little touch, and this is pretty much how I'm going to be displaying him on my shelf. So I like that a lot. Now obviously we are going to attach him to Shurikenjin, so we're going to want to remove that, since Aka Ninger is not he's never in, but he's not on Shinobimaru when you attach him to Shurikenjin. So we can go ahead and bring him in. Alright, so make sure that these are out of the way, and just kind of get him into a sitting pose. Raise up these little flappy skirt side panel things, and make sure that these clips are down. Like I said, those will just clip right into the back of Shurikenjin. Kind of make sure his arms are out of the way as well. It's a little bit of a snuggie fit. A snuggie fit? I'm gonna resurrect the snuggie. I think he's in there. At least I think he is. So then you can get his little grippy hands around the controls. And then from here, just kind of line up the feet the best you can. He kind of looks a little stupid. Here, the feet are meant for the deluxe one, and the deluxe one has the feet pretty close together, so it ends up looking a little bit silly when you have the Chogokin one in there. But that's alright, and it doesn't help that these are a little bit bent out of place from just how many times we've transformed this guy over the course of the series. So now he's all nice and snug in there. He's all good to go. Go ahead and attach the Shuriken, which does not have batteries in it anymore because they died. So no jingles, but there you go. There is a Chogokin Otomonin Shinobimaru piloting deluxe Shurikenjin, and it works pretty well. It's not bad. It looks a little bit strange from certain angles. If you get a lower sort of angle, you can definitely see Chogokin Otomonin Shinobimaru's. I don't know why I keep saying his full name like that. It's larger than the deluxe one, so it is kind of a little bit more prevalent right behind that Shurikenjin mask. But other than that, it actually looks pretty solid in there. Not gonna lie, but honestly, I feel if you buy this and display it like this, you're kind of wasting out on a really nice looking figure for display, so I don't really recommend displaying it like this. But it's a really nice feature that they kind of added those clips in the backpack in order to make sure that you could use it in Shurikenjin if you wanted to. It's a nice little additional feature that they didn't really have to do, considering they were just making an action figure. But I certainly do appreciate it. As much as I'm not going to use it, it's still pretty neat. So overall, I actually really like this figure. I feel he's a little bit overpriced, but thanks to how kind of meh Ninninger's been selling, you can actually get him for a pretty decent price on the aftermarket, so keep an eye on places like Yahoo Japan Auctions or Mandarake or something like that if you want to get a hold of one of these. Honestly, 4,000 yen or lower I feel is a pretty nice price for this. The actual retail price I think is a little bit too high, and I think they only got away with that because it has the Chogokin label on it. As well as a Super Sentai Artisan label, so that's like 2 premium labels in one here. So yeah, retail price, I don't think he was quite worth it, but he's a very, very nice figure. If you like Shinobimaru's design, then by all means hunt this down if you haven't already. It's nice, it's poseable, it works wonders on display, so even if you don't have Shurikenjin to use the combining feature with, it's a nice little figure on its own that I definitely recommend to fans of Shinobimaru. Thankfully, if you're a fan of Rodeo Maru, I got good news for you because they make one of those as well, and we will be taking a look at that tomorrow. So, that about does it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and blast that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. So, as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.